following weeks in July were truly the best of my life. Fiorentina and Emilio spent every pre-minute of the day together, and they were happy like never before. They often took me with them, and I almost felt like they were my parents. Fiorentina had always cared for me like a mother, and Emilio was kind, attentive, and goofy. In other words, the opposite of my father. He never failed to make me laugh and spread good vibes wherever he went. At home, I immediately felt trapped, but when I was with Emilio and Fiorentina, I was free. I thought that I could conquer the world and become anything I wanted. Sometimes we went on car rides on wide country roads, and Emilio would drive so fast and dangerously that I feared he would die, but these were the moments where I felt the most alive. He let us spend all his money at the arcade and the mall. Fiorentina insisted in buying him some fancy clothes, because if it had been up to Emilio, he would have been wearing the same pair of old jeans and worn out Converse every day. And when the two of them didn't take me with them, Fiorentina would tell me everything the next day. They usually did typical couples things like having picnics or going to the movies, except this one time when they broke in an abandoned mansion. After all, Emilio was still a bad boy. The people in Winosa were slowly getting used to their relationship, yet there were a few who kept talking trash about them. But Fiorentina and Emilio were too in love to notice that. For a while, everything was going well. But one day, I came home from school and our house was empty. That was rare. I had a bad feeling about it, so I ran over to my grandparents' house. When I opened the door, I heard loud voices. I assumed that the adults would bundle me off because they didn't want me to know about dirty family affairs, so I decided to hide behind the door from where I could see the living room. Dad was sitting on the couch and looking exhausted. My grandparents were sitting on chairs next to the couch and tried to calm down my mom and Fiorentina, who were standing in the middle of the room and yelling at the top of their lungs. "It was your idea, wasn't it?" Fiorentina screamed at my mom. "It doesn't matter whose idea it was," my grandma said. "Oh, yes it does. Teresa came up with this plan to ruin my happiness," Fiorentina snapped back. "Why would I do that?" Mom asked aggressively. "Because you hate me. You've hated me all my life." Mom got pale and was speechless for a second. "You're crazy," she then said and crossed her arms. "Admit it!" Fiorentina yelled. "Fiorentina, stop screaming like that," my grandmother said. "You should be honored that you get to marry Ricardo. He's a powerful man in Buenos Aires. His family immigrated from Venosa to Argentina a few years ago, and they confirmed that it's beautiful there." My blood ran cold when I heard this. Fiorentina would have to marry a man from Argentina? And what about Emilio? "I don't care if he's wealthy or powerful. I don't love him. Hell, I don't even know him." "It's because of that boy Emilio," my grandfather said furiously. "So what? Is it a sin to love him?" Mom and Grandma both gasped for air. "You can't be serious by saying you love him," Grandma said. "I am indeed, and I want to marry him, not Ricardo." "How could you possibly choose Emilio over Ricardo? He's a no-good and a bad influence. Terrible enough that you hang out with him, but you put my daughter in danger too by bringing her to all of your rendezvous," my mother said. That was when Fiorentina completely lost it. "Don't act like you give a damn about Stella. I've been more of a mother to her than you, and you know it." Instead of answering, my mother slapped her sister across the face. I quickly put my hands over my mouth to prevent myself from whimpering. Fiorentina stared at her in disbelief, while her eyes got filled up with tears. "Enough, girls," my grandfather said sharply and stood up. "Fiorentina, you're going to move to Argentina in 3 weeks to marry Ricardo and live there. End of the story. And Teresa, don't hit your sister ever again." He gave Fiorentina a disdainful look and added, "Even if she deserves it." Fiorentina started crying out loud and ran upstairs to her room. I turned around, wiping away my own tears, and hurried home before my family could see me. The next day, Fiorentina and I went to the grocery store without Emilio. They had broken up this afternoon, but Fiorentina didn't tell me why. I could imagine the reason, though. Since that evening, she had constantly been in a bad mood and barely talked to anyone. She was putting several fruits in the shopping basket and acting concentrated to avoid any conversation. I felt extremely sorry for her. I I would have changed with her any day because I hated it here, and I'd always dreamt to move to another country. But Fiorentina loved Venosa, and more importantly, she loved Emilio. I was aware that the situation was complicated, but I couldn't understand why she wasn't doing anything about it. She couldn't just let the love of her life pass her by. I blurted out my thoughts. So, what are you going to do? Fiorentina peered at me. What do you mean? I mean, what's your plan? Don't tell me you're actually moving to Argentina and marrying this snob, leaving Emilio here in Venosa, heartbroken, I said. Fiorentina bit her lip. I guess I have no other choice. You always have a choice, I replied. What do you expect me to do, Stella? Run away with him? That's not a bad idea. Fiorentina shook her head. Emilio proposed the same thing. He wanted me to love with him, but I told him that I can't. It would be a scandal. I can't dishonor my family and myself. Who cares about honor? I said scornfully, and my favorite Bible quote came to my mind. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, does not boast, is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no records of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. Corinthians 34, Fiorentina whispered. She looked devastated, and I regretted what I said. Maybe I should have shut my mouth this time. Some kids at school used to call me a nerd because I always came up with an answer for every question, and I guess that was kind of annoying sometimes. But Fiorentina didn't seem annoyed, just sad. You're the smartest young girl I know, she said, and tried to smile. But it's too late. There's nothing we can do, and nothing will help us now, except perhaps God's grace. She continued to work through the shopping list.